Low Targar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another orc mode workout. And today was max effort bench press day, my favorite day because it's my weakest lift, which means it needs to turn into my favorite. But you guys know the rules. Please click like down below before you watch me PR or get stapled. Those are the rules. Reach down and click it. We have to keep the likes higher than the dislikes, and we are barely succeeding at that, because there are some losers who have nothing better to do with their time than run dislike bots. But on to the training. I went with, this time, back to my old arch, and because again I feel like probably works better for me than flat-footed, I went back to close grip, not ultra close, but still definitely a close grip, and just kind of wanted to test the waters. And actually, when I hit 295 with the chains, this felt really easy. Like, I went for 315 next and thought it was going to be no problem. Now, I did tap the upright right there, which didn't even slow me down. So I'm like, hey, great, we should be able to go up. It felt really good. Went over to the 315 with the same chains. It felt good on the eccentric. I mean, it bled some energy, but I thought I was going to get it. Got right up to the midpoint and ground for, according to my timer, about 3 seconds, and then it just came down. And so I think the way we're going to go here for a while, all my max pressing is going to be closer grip. I'm a little stronger this way. Obviously, still my weakest lift, but we've assessed all the different hypertrophy weak points. Okay, we've assessed them. Even on this one with the close grip, it felt like nothing but delt. Felt like nothing but delt, but really there was some upper chest there too. And normally, if that's where we stick, we might say, hey, that's definitely all delt. But man, to stick that low against chains, I feel like there's still some potential chest. And we know chest is a weak link on my wide grip. So I'm always going to lead off with a chest dominant exercise. And instead of doing the floor press with the football bar, because that felt pretty good, I decided, you know what? I started doing incline with the football bar on my press days, my overhead press days, and I'm like, that feels really good. I got that deep burn in my chest doing that. And it's all around shoulder safe exercise. So I'm like, oh, let me just do some flat bench with it. You know what? It's a hair more range of motion than the floor press. I like floor presses. They're great. So I went ahead and went with like my normal floor press weight. It was challenging for 5x10, but I feel like there's room to grow. And when I think about it, we might get a little better carryover. Not a lot, because again, doing 10s, even on a specific exercise, there's not a lot of technique carryover. But in terms of the overall hypertrophy, just practicing setting up, arching, definitely something to be said for that. Also, you guys noticed the return of the zombie bench. I can't do it with the football bar because my head will hit the bar. So I have to slide out. But normally I just stand up straight when I go on my toes. A lot of people have asked, why aren't you doing that? Because I've been going flat-footed for a while. But again, this really kind of hit my whole chest. I would honestly say out of most of the pressing I've done, I really got a deep burn in my chest. And so even though, because I'm on a close grip for a bit, I don't think chest needs to be the highest priority, I still need to make sure my chest is getting very good training volume along with the delts. All right, we know chest is weak link on the wide grip. Okay, we know that. We know that delts are probably the weak link right now on my close grip. Seem to be, because all that tricep work I've been doing may be paying off. Of course, triceps seem to be the weak link on my overhead pressing. So we just need to train all of it. At this point, it's not even going to be a matter of weak links. Let's just get everything, make sure we hit our ideal effective volumes every workout. So that means bench press day, we're going to get at least 10 sets for chest. So it's going to be 5 sets of this. I was debating when I felt like it was delts, I was debating going to an overhead press. I'm like, you know what? I need to keep a chest focus, right? Instead of doing the flies, I can do this and I can do incline benching. The incline with this bar really hits my chest hard with the widest grip. It's very shoulder safe because of the pronated grip. Let me just do both of these. And then on my overhead press days, I'll do the incline to make sure we get the minimum effective volume for our chest. But on this is about all I can handle. If we count the maxes, I said I got 10 sets for pecs. Because I only did 4 on the incline because I bumped the weight up 10 pounds heavier than I did on the overhead press day because I got like 13 reps the final set. And it was tough. They were basically limit sets. But even with the flat bench with this bar, 230 for 5 sets of 10 was relatively challenging. Now I need to get that up. I know this exercise will build the muscles I need for my bench. I'm going to go ahead and take it to the limits, try to get within 1 rep in reserve, which again means we're grinding a little bit on the last rep, at least towards the final sets. Try to get stronger at that. Get plenty of training volume, and I'm only going to do this on my bench days because again we alternate right now, bench and press. Gives me a little bit of a break from benching heavy too often. That way I only hit a max bench every 4 days, because I feel like that really wasn't helping me that much compared to my squat and deadlift as they were climbing. I feel like we've done enough different lifts. We have data, we know my weak points, we know where I'm weakest. I can use one of my press days as an overhead press day, which again, if I'm going to mess for a bit with some close grip benching, because again, no matter what I do, I'm always stronger at it. We can still address the chest weaknesses. It lets me really put a heavy focus on delts on the overhead day and along with triceps both days. I am making sure my triceps get maximum attention no matter what. No matter what we do, we're going to do 10 sets of presses, which we could count as half sets for triceps, and 5 sets of triceps directly every one of these days. They're going to basically get 10 quality working sets every 48 hours. That's not counting the high rep band stuff I do in between, or the tendons, which the stuff you guys saw me doing on camera before. We're doing it off camera. I'm doing it in the evenings. Just part of my daily routine, like along with my reverse hypers, along with my band curls. But yeah, all of this went good. I felt like I really hammered my chest, the entire chest on that. And honestly, even though it felt like delt, the more I got into that, the more I realized there definitely was some chest straining on that close grip too. My pecs just need to come up. They need to come up a lot. Now, we don't ignore the possibility it's a delt weakness. So that's why I went with the incline, because that was kind of my choice. I'm like, well, even if I get 5 sets with that, I could just do overhead press. 5 sets is plenty to grow on. But we could argue that front delts might get hit harder on the incline than they do on the overhead press. It's a big debate, isn't it? And I'm already going to do overhead pressing on overhead press day. I can just incline on both. Why? Because the incline carries over to both. Incline can make you better at overhead. Incline can make you better at flat bench. I seem to have a delt weakness potentially on flat bench as far as close grip goes, so I might as well use it. I'm relatively weak at the incline, so let's just train the heck out of it. I'll do incline benching, especially with this bar. This bar's so easy on my shoulders. I'll just incline with it every upper body day. Why not? Get good at it. And like I said, I went up 10 pounds on it today, and the 4th set was really hard. I realized that I would probably fail a 5th, and I don't want to strip weight off. That gives me 9 good presses after a max. Pretty good volume. I'm happy with that. That'll be more than adequate. We're inside of our ideal range for a single training session. We're inside the ideal range. And again, these are all challenging sets on all this pressing. It's challenging. My chest and front delts felt very, very fatigued. And then we did our skull crushers. I went ahead and bumped the weight on these, and surprisingly I didn't really lose much in the way of reps. Right, I went up another 5 pounds, and really on average I went down maybe 1 to 2 reps per set. Maybe on average, maybe 1 really. So that's good, because I got at least 13 reps on every set. That's in the range. I don't really want to drop under 12 on these, because again, at that point we may just be beating our elbows up. So, I mean, in a perfect world, we'll get to where maybe 12 reps to failure on the final few sets will be fine. So I'm going to keep loading this up while maintaining the technique. And again, this works all 3 heads of the tricep. I want to make sure that my triceps keep growing. I want to make sure, because historically I haven't had the biggest arms. I need bigger arms in general. I'm going to train my triceps into the ground. Train them to their limits. Keep doing so. They appear to be even a possible limit on my overhead pressing, right? They appear to be, from what I can tell. I'm better at overhead press than I am at benching. So we look at it this way. If they make my overhead press go up, my bench will probably go up too, just from all the overhead press volume being stronger. By that same token, if My triceps never become a weak link on my benching. That's good. I mean, we need to overdevelop triceps. So I'm going to mess with some close grip benching because I always seem to be better at it no matter what I do. Overdeveloping your triceps is never going to hurt your close grip. Even if it continues to be a delt dominant issue, I need to build that. So here's where I'm at. I'm just making sure we're building everything. And again, I finally got to a point where I have no shoulder pain, no shoulder inflammation. And I think it's a combination of the way I'm changing things up, the exercises I'm selecting, doing more of the face pulls. All right, we're just going to build everything. All three heads of the delt need to be maximized. My entire chest needs to be maximized. All three heads of my tricep need to be maximized. All right, that is the only way my bench is going to go up. And again, because of the size of my torso and my structure, things like my chest tend to look a lot bigger than they are. They tend to look a lot bigger than they are because of my rib cage. So we know we just need to bring it all up. At the end of the day, the bench press is the most muscle dependent of the big three. It really is. And muscle in the right places. All right, guys can be fairly light and have really big pecs and really big triceps and have a massive bench. Just muscle in the right places. Now they're at a higher risk of injury from less support musculature. So I have to just get thicker. I've got to bring all of my upper body up, and that even includes biceps. That's what we're going to do. And the bench is going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. I'm going to have to learn how to grind better against the bench. I'm going to have to build all the muscles up more. And again, that's the only way my bench press is going to go up. We've seen enormous strides in my squat and deadlift in the last year. Enormous. Bench is going to take a priority. But the thing is, people will always say, well, your bench is going slow. The other lifts are going up. That's the real world, guys. Explain how this works. When you see a guy's bench jump by a lot who can bench 300 or more, particularly if it jumps faster than his squat or his deadlift, I'm not going to spell it out, but that should tell you something. Anyone who knows anything should know exactly what just happened. Okay? He just went really, really hard in the special supplements. Really hard. Because they affect the bench more than they affect the other lifts. And that doesn't mean that someone whose bench is slow is clean by any means. That doesn't mean that. People don't understand. That doesn't mean that at all. But gear affects the bench more than the other lifts. Right? It will usually add at larger amounts. It tends to make the bench go up a little faster. Okay, it's usually what you're seeing. Why? Because those muscles, the bench press is so muscle mass dependent. Muscles of the upper chest, shoulder girdle, all of that have a large number of androgen receptors. They respond very easily. Okay, they respond very, very easily. So the only way you're going to get a big bench without doing that, you're just going to have to build all those muscles up, in addition to some technique and learning to strain and all that. So that's what I'm going to have to do. And that's why we're dedicating literally 50% of my training every week, if not more, to bench-related muscles, right? The squat and the deadlift are actually taking up maybe 45% of my training. Together, the bench is taking up a bigger amount, and it's just going to go slow. I accept that. I'm just going to keep working at it day after day after day after day. Okay? No one ever got weaker by working hard. Then we finished up with the face pulls. I'm focusing more and more on getting the elbows a little further back, even though I'm doing the underhand grip. I'm focusing more on squeezing at the top instead of just getting reps, trying to get quality contractions out of it, really work the rear delt, really get into scapular retraction at the back. Again, will help me get tighter on my bench, improve my overhead press. It'll make my shoulder girdle more stable, make me less prone to injuries, more injury resistant. In addition to just thickening up my shoulders, which I need in general. I need my delts to get bigger. All right, and this does a lot for the rear delt and the side delt. Okay. Again, we're building a more stable platform to press off of for both bench and overhead press. And yeah, I'm keeping the reps pretty high, even with that squeezer. Everything's 20 plus. As I get used to it, I may go to the next band up. We'll probably do that. But take this band out for all that we can, the lightest band, and just build off of it. You know, it's fine. It's fine even if I'm going over 20. Getting quality work in, and eventually I'll increase the tension. You know, maybe within another week or two. We'll see. But good workout, even though I totally missed a bench. I feel like it revealed some weak points. I feel like it made me look closely at what I need to do. I feel like I'm moving in the right direction now with rotating and accessory movements. We're focusing on the things that we need to focus on to maintain shoulder health while getting my entire shoulder girdle, tricep, and pec bigger. So we keep moving forward, guys. It's going to be a pound at a time on the bench. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.